Welcome back to, contrary to what that shot seems to suggest, it is better than it has been at times today. So we're just getting the drivers in the car. We're now about to start the third circuit of heat. So this is going to be heat number 7 that we're coming through. We'll hopefully be having Sam Massey joining us very shortly. He's the easy kart champion, so he's got quite some pedigree. But while we're waiting for Sam to make his way up, let's whip through this grid for heat number 7. And then hopefully I'll have a quick chance to grab a quick word with him after that. So, on the front row for heat number 7, it's Dan Milner and Nick Divers. On the second row, it's Daniel Truman and Richard Cooper. Row 3, it's Ian Blake and Andy Chilton. Row 4 is Henry Miles and Costa Creatis. Fifth row, Jack Mitchell and Slavek Piskorts. On the 6th row, it is Carl Frankham and David Longman. 7th row, Matt Turner and Pedro Neto. On the 8th row, it's Martin Joyce and Luke Hornsby. 9th row, Chris Bell and James Holland. 10th row is Maxime Menu. Hopefully Maxime's going to be out there. And David Thomas. And starting at the back is Glenn Beard. So, Costa won the first heat. Are we going to see something kicking off there? That'll be interesting to see. He wants to get the points back up again. Let's have a look. Who else? Chris Bell down in 17th. He was up the sharp end as well, so that could be interesting. I'm sure David Thomas was as well. We'll have to see how that one plays out. Greg Smith, that is the best I've seen Dante drive in the wet since the Carroll Duke event at Sutton. He's struggled before in the wet, but massive. He's certainly loving it here, isn't he, to be fair to him? He is enjoying that. I think the victory in that first race has really buoyed him, and he was prepared to get stuck in and fight his way through again. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the chance to speak to Sam Massey, which is a real shame. If he does show up, I will grab a very quick word and we'll jump back to the racing if necessary. As it does look like the one car is out again, and that is, I think that is Maxime Menu. I think Maxime's presumably got an issue not being able to take part. So that should mean that we're just about ready to go for this race. The final kart just getting into place. The engine notes are going to rise any second. They gluing towards the red lights, waiting for them to go green. There they go, and off they jump, and it is our pole sitter this time. It normally seems to have been the second place driver that's jumped away, but this time it's our pole sitter, Dan Milner. Not surprising with Dan being on pole. He's going to hope that he's going to clear off into the distance as basically second place driver gets swallowed up a little bit there as takes that inside line. Probably not quite so beneficial on that opening corner there, Crook and then into Fine Lady. But up into Christmas Corner they go for the first time, and they just squeezing in together, 3-4 abreast there. Someone did spin it towards the back, but harmless for everybody else, thankfully. But here comes Dan Milner in the lead, down towards Ashby for the first time, jumping on those brakes, making sure they don't run wide as everybody else comes clambering down and just bumping and boring into each other a little bit there. There was a spinner towards the back that has sent one of the carts at the rear onto the grass. They're going to be so frustrated because they're there and there's nothing they can do. It's just all mud now, unfortunately. But out up front, it is very comfortable at this stage. It is Dan Milner along the back straight for the first time. And we'll wait and see when they come round the first time how this is going to play out in terms of second, third and fourth that are joined together and who's where. Oh, and that got very tight there. I got a feeling I know who that is, but I'm going to wait until it comes through because I'm sure they had an unfortunate race the previous time round. Through comes Dan Milner, our pole sitter, still sat there in the lead. Ian Blake, Daniel Truman. Costa's up into 4th position. We knew that Costa was going to do well from 8th up to 4th position there. And in fact, he's making a challenge for 3rd as they head round the first corner up towards Christmas Corner. But I don't think he's going to do it. He's going to try and leave his kart there in the middle, but that might not be beneficial come Christmas. He is still there up on the inside, and he's trying to get himself up onto that podium position for this heat. They're still side by side as they exit the corner. The left-hand kink as they head towards Inkerman's, the right-hander, and he just has to slot himself back in there. Of course, that's allowed Ian Blake to just scamper off ever so slightly. Oh, and he's just ran a little bit wide there, though, in that second position. 3rd, 4th, still glued together, and Costa had a great run out of the corner, but there was nowhere for him to go because Daniel Truman just had that line covered. There was nothing that he could do to make a move. Still, he keeps showing his nose, trying to find a way. Costa is desperate to get up there, probably because he can see Dan Milner just disappearing up front, and he doesn't want him to get too far away. But it's proving rather difficult for him. So All the while, Ian Blake's managed to escape a little bit up there in second position, so the front two having fairly lonely race at this stage. That's not what could be said for third position, because Daniel Truman has got Costa all over him. Through comes our leader. It is Dan Milner. 2 laps completed for Dan. Ian Blake's just over 2.5 seconds behind in second position. Then it's Daniel Truman and Costa still joined together. Costa looking one way, looking the other, looking towards the inside as they go through. Crook again for the third time, but nothing's on there. Of course, he's trying to dive for the inside, but it is just enabling Daniel Truman to put on that little bit extra power as he's exiting the corner and leaving Costa just languishing behind, not able to do anything about it. They've already exited Christmas. They're through to Inkerman's. Leaders already, oh, that's a very wide line there through Ashby for our leader, as these second and third drivers still glued together through Ashby. Oh, and they both ran very wide there, but still remaining just about in control, thankfully. But as we look at this, and Costa's looking up the inside as they get to Chapman's, and is he going to be able to do it? Yes, he has. He's just about managed to pull that one off, but that was not guaranteed, even as they came to the exit, because we've seen him trying to make the move. We've seen Daniel Truman manage to get himself back again, and Daniel Truman's not falling away, and they need to be careful, because just behind them is Slavek Piskor. Excuse me. Slavek Piskor is just there behind them, as they are about to come into my sight again, and it does look like Costa has been able to break away now from Daniel Truman. So Daniel Milner now just under 3.5 seconds out in the lead. Look at this, Slavek Piskor, Pedro Neto and Jack Mitchell absolutely glued together. That is 5th, 6th, 7th. Loving this fight all the way up towards Christmas Corner. First, second, third, fourth have now actually got themselves spread out a little bit. That fight that was for obviously third is now spread out a bit, that Costa has moved himself up into third. Daniel Truman has just dropped away from him slightly, but not into the clutches as yet of Slavek Piskor, Pedro Neto and Jack Mitchell. Probably helped by them having their own battle, especially the latter two of those three, Pedro Neto and Jack Mitchell. They're the ones that are really joined together at the moment. And in fact, just behind them, that's Chris Bell. Now, Chris Bell has been towards the sharp end in some of the earlier races, and he's going to be trying to get involved. Interesting, we've got a spinner here just heading towards through Oblivion, and he certainly threw it into Oblivion. That looks like that was kart number 4, so is that Richard Cooper, I think, that's thrown it at the scenery. Leader coming down towards the start-finish straight, comes through Pitts Bend to complete the 4th lap. Remember, we're getting 6 laps out of these karts in each race. Through goes Dan Milner, still in the lead. That gap is now up to 4.270 over Ian Blake. And Costa still in third. Daniel Truman, Slavek Piskor, Chris Bell, Jack Mitchell. Pedro Neto's fallen back down to 8th position. Chris Bell up to 6th. So it's all changing between that gaggle of 3, and still it's continuing. It has allowed Slavek to just pull away from them and leave them to fight amongst themselves. Jack Mitchell, Pedro Neto and Chris Bell. Chris Bell was at the front as they came across the line last time. But look at it, they're just backwards and forwards, squirming under braking, squirming under power. And they're just trying to find the opportunity. But we heard Chris McCarthy, as they're bumping and boring down towards Ashby, and he's going to push him out towards the grass. Surely not. And that has enabled I'll have to wait to see who's who out of this lot. As what are we, 4 laps? So we're going to be on the penultimate lap at the moment. And still those 3 are just raging. That's 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't care that it's not for the lead. It's a fabulous battle to be glued to, as is my privilege. I'm allowed to enjoy the fights that are going on. Our leader, in all fairness, is just coming through the final corner for the penultimate time. Yeah, there's 20 seconds left. Coming through now. He's going to be taking final lap board. Yes, there it is. He's coming up towards the back marker. Dan Milner still nice and comfortably in control from Ian Blake. 3.4 is the lead now. Costa in third. Now, interestingly, Costa's just put in the fastest lap of this race, and that gap towards Ian Blake is less than a second. So second position is not comfortable just yet, because Costa has fought hard to get himself up into third. Now, actually, have I just missed it all changing up there as I was trying to analyse the timing screen? I've got a feeling I've just missed it all changing towards the front there, but we'll have to wait and see as they come. Oh, no, it's the back marker. That's what threw me. The back marker in front of our leader. Ian Blake sat there in second. Costa in third, who's presumably just had to negotiate a back marker that has just cost him where he was closing in on Ian Blake. Another back marker just moving out of the way there, but not moving out of the way there. Oh my goodness, I'm sort of at a loss really exactly who's who once you get in amongst these back markers. But Dan Milner on his final tour around this circuit is going to hopefully, for his sake, going to take this victory as we wait to see him exiting the boot. And that back marker really did cost him a lot of space, because Ian Blake is now, after it was no longer 3.4 seconds. You can see how close it is, and Costa's right there with them as well. Forced wide by that back marker. Through goes our winner, Dan Milner. Ian Blake only 1.2 in the end, and Costa was only 0.4 behind him. So that got very close thanks to the back marker. They're good fun, the back markers. Daniel Truman comes home in fourth. Chris Bell in fifth. Jack Mitchell. Now Slavek Piskorts, he ended up back in seventh position. So that was what I knew, something had happened somewhere. Pedro Neto in eighth. Andy Chilton, Matt Turner round out your top 10. But what an incredible race that was, and a great victory there for Dan Milner. At times it looked like he was well and truly in control and was going to turn that pole position into a dominant victory, but it got a bit closer than I'm sure he'd have liked it to have been, thanks to Ian Blake able to close in dramatically as a result of the back marker. Excuse me. Wow. So we've only got 2 more heats left. One more chance for each of these drivers to basically get some more points in the bag to determine whether they're in final C, B or A. Remember, the winner of final C gets to go through to the back of the grid of final B. The winner of final B gets to get the back of the grid of final A. And then that's when it's all to play for PLD 2017. Who are we going to see a winner? Anybody got a gut feeling yet for who they think is going to be the PLD 2017 champion? Drop it on. I would love to see what people are starting to think. I know you've all got your favourites, but don't just be picking favourites. Who do you think could win the PLD 2017? I'm not sure I'd open my wallet just yet, if I'm honest. Greg Smith, unlucky. Slavek just lost 2 positions in the end. Another good friend of mine. I thought so. I spotted that he was quite comfortable at times, but lost a few positions. That is a real shame. So thanks for that, Greg. I love the fact, though, is that they get out of the carts and they're wandering back, and they're all smiling and laughing amongst themselves. They walk back. It is for charity, as we keep reminding ourselves. It is an awful lot of fun. Even in these conditions, they're having an awful lot of fun, and there's no stressy debriefs as they're walking back. It's all really good fun. And so heat number 8 is making their way across towards their carts. Now I'm assuming we're going to be back up to the full complement again of 21 carts, because Maxime Menu hasn't been able to take part in the last couple, and I'm not sure. I haven't been able to find out any reasons yet. I'll see if there's anything I can find out as we go along.